Hello and welcome. I am Suit&Tie, Dip&ChewGuy, and this is an entry onto the Tools of the Trade playlist. And we will be taking a look at this guy. And you're saying to yourself, why are we reviewing a cheap Chinese knockoff of Mud Jug? And you are completely mistaken. In fact, not even close. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a slide on that because for years I have seen these things in passing and thought exactly the same thing until recently. So, this is the second version of this review. For members that are watching, you will be the only ones able to see the original version. I redid it, and due to time constraints, unfortunately, I was not able to get this up to you early. I apologize. I will make it up to you, though. I already have something in waiting. So, this is Little Cuss, as in Little Cuspidor, all right? And it looks overly busy, but in a way, it sort of looks familiar. So, this bottom section here has a hole in the bottom of it and some wood chips for me because I actually had this screwed down on something. Now, these may or may not come with that screw. Basically, all it is a inset flathead wood screw of whatever length you think you need. But this basically acts as a cup to place this in. But the idea is that the original idea is that this would be screwed down, as they put it originally, to the center hump in your pickup truck. Or if you wanted it on the dash, it also came with a circular 3M stick pad that you could place, sort of in the same idea as the short neck, only slightly larger. It basically fits that. This particular product I have in my hand right now did not come with that, and they usually do not. However, both of those things, a wood screw or a circular 3M stick pad, are not terribly hard to come by, so it's not really a big deal. So you have that, and on the top, you have a lid going over the spittoon, and it has, that is actually, now I've seen some of these in really bad broken English suggest that's an ashtray. That is not an ashtray, all right? That is a can holder. Place to put your hand. This product was set up to be sort of stationary, okay? They were not promoting, outside of the fact that it was a take-along, they were not, it was based in the idea that you'd have it in a certain spot type deal. So, this just comes off, all right? And then you have the spittoon. This is interesting because there's another screw right there. When you unscrew that, you can take the green off, and that reveals a hollow section with vent holes. And what they would do at the time would be soak cotton balls in a air freshener, which I don't know off the top of my head, but the company actually suggested certain brands, which I am sure are long gone. I will get to about the company in a moment, by the way. It was, you put the cotton balls in there, and this acted as, when the spittoon was closed, as an odor masking bit that you could sit your can on. All right? Now, you take that away, and you take the bottom cup away, and you're looking at something very familiar. And this is where people get confused about this product. All right? And I will do a secondary video, an add-on to this later, going over details between the two. But people think either it's a cheap Chinese knockoff, Mud Jug knockoff, all right, or it's somebody else doing a knockoff. It's some sort of knockoff. I'm not saying those don't exist. They do. They usually have some deal where they have like an ashtray holders for like cigarettes in them, and I'm not quite sure where they're made. They may not be China, but they are a knockoff. But are they knocking off? Is it a knockoff of Mud Jug? Maybe, but they actually might be a knockoff of this. And here's where you're going to be like, well, some of the older guys may not be surprised. This is not a knockoff of Mud Jug. Okay? This is the second format in a product line that they put in for patent pending in 1976, 77. Now, this is the important part. That patent / trademark was allowed to run out, okay, in 1998. They no longer had the rights to this product. So you can take away with you what you want from that, but the older versions of this, which you will see one in a minute, had patent pending, okay? And the later versions, like the one you're seeing right now, it doesn't have patent pending. So this was made by Kelbold Enterprises. The early ones were from their original location, which was Novus, New Mexico. Although I feel the need to check now. Clovis, New Mexico. I apologize, New Mexico. The later ones came out after they moved. They moved to Fort Worth, Texas. Still Kelbold Enterprises. Still made in the USA. These are USA products that predate Mud Jug. Okay? There is a difference between the early ones and the later ones like this, and I will show you the difference between them. They are pretty superficial. The interesting thing about this one right here, the second incarnation, the Fort Worth products, is you can still get these new. Okay, so what I can only imagine is that another company, which may or may not be JIC Incorporated, I think it's JIC, but I could be wrong, basically has been distributing these out in new boxing that looks exactly the same as the old boxing, and they're coming new, which is sort of weird. This other company must have bought a large stock of old unused products. It's the only thing. When I got my first one of these, it was the first generation one out of Clovis, New Mexico. It has patent pending on the bottom and it is branded. It was unused, but may have been slightly used. Okay, it wasn't going to be used by me anyway. I cleaned it up, and that was what members saw a week and a half ago as the review for this. But then I was like, you know what? The original one didn't have the cup. And I was like, it's not the full product unless I have all the pieces. So let me get another one. And I saw another one, and it was coming in the box, and the box looked new. And I'm like, well, that looks like in really, really good shape. I am wondering how they kept the very thin cardboard box in such good shape, though. But it's like $15, so let me get it. And I got it, and it was completely new. Like, okay, I just got a possibly 30-year-old product, brand new. There are some slight differences between this and the older one. Most prominent of the difference is the older ones are branded. They would be branded as Skoal, Copenhagen, or very rare now, you used to be able, you're not going to find these for sale. They did have ones originally that were Happy Days, And I have seen some others, which I will do a separate video on, some real oddball stuff that I was like, what? Anyway, let's take it over to the desk and I will show you this close up. All right? And where's the pause button? Okay, and here we are. This is the general product. All right? It has the removable lid that I already went over. It has the bottom cup. Okay? Usually if I have a bottom one of these screwed down, I just take the lid off and put it on it, wherever it is. And then you are left with the base product, which is this. Now, as you may or not be able to make out there, it has Kelbold Enterprises Incorporated of 3912 Broadway, Fort Worth, Texas, and the zip code. And on the other side, they have Lil Cuss and the trademark circle. Now, the differences in between this and a mud jug, and I will do a very short video in a couple weeks, week or two, outlining it, is basically this body, the body of this product is thinner. It feels smaller in the hand. And somebody out there is going, well, that might not be good for tipping over. Somewhat surprisingly, and I did not expect this at all when I originally bought them, just like Mud Jug, this is weighted. And I am sorry, the light's all over the place here. I was trying a different... So, the product is weighted. This one is in a... They probably call it a forest green. I am going to say that this... I would call this a British racing green, but I'm pretty old school and I don't know if that term's used in this country. So, the funnel does not have a pop tap. Okay? However, it's not terribly hard to get off because it's a lot more flexible than the Mud Jug funnels. Alright? That is a look inside. They're just going with a plain square metal weight in these. Alright? And that is basically in the middle there a sort of like the Plastic World's version of a rivet holding it to the bottom. On the bottom, there is this. I am keeping an eye on this. I am interested to see at some point if this ever leaks. I somewhat doubt it, but still, it is an open point. So, between the second incarnation of this and the original one that I'm about to show you, this one is new. It was new in box, unused. I mean, there was some dust, but besides that, the older versions are a little bit cleaner. All right? You do not have these visible edges. As far as this to a Mud Jug Classic, it's the same connection points as a Mud Jug Classic. Like, the exact same. Okay? As I said, though, this one is a little thinner. The bulb, the bottom bulb of it is thinner. That all said, and I will cover this in a future video, it feels a little different in the hand. And this is a little bit, it feels very flexible, but you sort of need that without the tab to get it off easily. A Mud Jug Classic funnel fits these perfectly. So this bottom down here is sort of smaller, but the upper where the funnel goes is basically exactly the same. The tab fits. The only problem with that is this will sit cockeyed with a tab coming out. Sort of like that. All right? Now, you are saying, what about this first version? Between this and the first version, there is more visible seams on the second versions. And due to this product probably having sit in storage for possibly decades, there are some blemishes. Not used blemishes, but in shipping and whatnot recently, they most likely took a couple hits. And since we're dealing with fairly old plastic, let me see if I can, that's the only one I can find on this one. You get stuff like that. Otherwise, some of this light scratching and whatnot, I have probably done to this. So, what does the original look like? Only same product in general. The weight system in the bottom is a little bit different, very slightly. Let me take this off. Up. When you get these older ones, yeah, this is giving me actually, there we go. Now, I just rinsed this with hydroperoxide, so hopefully it's dried out. There is a different weight in there, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to show you. It's circular, and it looks a little bit more substantial than the square one. There are no seams really showing on this. The difference is otherwise not much, except for the branding, and on this, you have Kelbold Enterprises Incorporated of Clovis, New Mexico. And on the far side, where it has little cuss, it has patent pending. So this was probably an extremely early one. We're talking probably 77. I think by the end of the year 77, the patent was through. So that is that. All right. You are going to be seeing more of these because I have gotten very into this whole deal as of late just because I find them interesting. All right. But the green on the older ones is slightly lighter. It's not as dark and glossy. The older ones that are branded. Now, you would most likely be going out of your way because of the branding. They are usually in a slightly used condition. You can get them, though, in very good shape. They usually, though, do not come with all of the parts. So this one in particular came with that, but did not come with the cup, the bottom cup. All right. I have seen them just like this. I have even seen them without the funnel and sort of just like open top. They have Skull Copenhagen, Happy Days, and there may be some outliers besides that. They have also had ones for sports, like fox hunting. No, I have no idea. But I saw one on eBay that looked in really bad shape that had #1 sport, fox hunting. Anyway, so let me take this back up top and I will wrap this up. Hold on. Okay, so I am back. I think everything's going green, so we're good. Hey, look at me. Professional. Excellent. So you will be seeing more of this product because I actually, when I realized they were coming in new or in really, really good shape, I actually snapped some up. I have a number of them now. In fact, offhand, I'm not even sure how many. You can find these on eBay. Etsy, I think, has some. You can go to RYO, as in like roll your own, supply.com. Okay? They have a limited number new in box. They do not come with the screws or the disc. All right? They do not come with the original instruction sheet. Okay? But roll your own, RYO supply.com does have them as of last evening. So, the deal with eBay is they're pretty cheap. They're pretty cheap, but they are pretty sturdy. Now, is this like a mud jug? Would I run this over with my car? Probably not. But you know what? I don't think I'd run one of my mud jugs over with a car either. So, yeah. With stuff like eBay and whatnot, the problem with that is you always get hosed on the shipping. Okay? So, yeah, you could find one of these probably for, I've seen them from $17 to $22. I know the gentleman that sells them at $22.50. They're brand new in box. But the thing is with eBay, when you have a private seller like that or a small time like retail outfit working off of eBay, you're paying the full shipping. Like there is no like it's $10 shipping. Although I will say, the guy on eBay wrote me a very nice note to go along with the package and da-da. I believe his name on eBay, see, it's probably got a number after, but I believe it's Mitchell Thomas. Or Thomas Mitchell. No, I think it's Mitchell Thomas. They are around. If there is interest in this, I will leave a comment and I will try to get back to you and give you a link as to where you can find them. But you will be seeing this again, okay? They will be shorter videos. I will put one of these up right next to a mud jug classic and show over. Keep in mind, I am not trying to badmouth Mud Jug. Mud Jug is the visually nicer, less flawed product, and probably under strength tests would hold up better. I'm not trying to boo-hoo Mud Jug at all. Quality products and products I use every day. But I did find this interesting, especially when I came to the realization. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't coming out of China. This is just old from the U.S. So this has been my review of Little Cuss from Kelbold Enterprises. Most likely now fully defunct. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves. And as always, God bless.